House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 2, Rhaenyra the Cruel, let's go! We begin with Aegon going berserk over the murder of his son. He's smashing his dad's Lego set in what has to be the most heavy-handed symbolism of all time that Viserys' peaceful rule is over, and Aegon is ready for war.
This is war! I declare war!
A justified war, though, because his baby just got beheaded. Old Eagle Eye Aemon spots a gold coin under the table and notices all the other coins that he and Sir Criston were using in battle plan are now gone. He assumes that the assassins stole the gold, all but confirming that they were in his room looking to kill him. Aemon now knows that Daemon has to plot to take him out. Something he's very proud of is later in the episode he gets naked and curls up in the lap of a hooker like a widow baby and says, "Isn't it cool that they wanted to assassinate me?"
In truth, I am proud that he considers me such a foe. He's afraid of me.
As well he should be.
Alicent is mourning with her father Otto, who promises her vengeance for whoever's responsible, and Alicent starts bugging out, thinking that she's responsible because she's the reason there was no protection, because she was banging Sir Criston Cole. That's when Grandpa Otto is spin zoning like, hey, you know, dead kid, not the worst thing in the world. When life gives you baby heads, you make lemonade. Cut back to Aegon, and he's grilling Sir Criston Cole for sleeping during the murder. Otto says we have to find out who did this, and Aegon's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's obvious who did this. And that's when he drops the name, the bitch queen of the bastards, the smug cunt of Dragonstone, and blames Alicent for letting her live.
No. Who would do this save the bitch queen of bastards? There she sits across the bay on her rock, laughing at me. She's fucking laughing at me!
Sir Larys, the clubfoot pervert, appears and says, we caught the guy who did this. And Aegon says, I'm gonna go fucking kill him. And that's when the rest of the room is like, no, we need to pump him for information to find out if he had an accomplice. Otto says, who cares who actually did it? Let's just say it was Rhaenyra and blame it on her. Otto tells Aegon that people view him as weak, so he hatches his most despicable plot yet. A little headless baby funeral for the streets so that the people can see how despicable Team Black is. Dude is literally spin zoning his grandson has been dead for like 15 minutes, saying a dead baby is more powerful than 1,000 troops. Something tells me Otto would have loved a good dead baby joke back in the 90s. Alicent tells Laena to get ready for the dead baby funeral. At the same time, she's like, hey, by the way, did you see me fucking Sir Criston Cole last night? And Laena cuts her off and dismisses the conversation. They get in the funeral, riding behind the dead baby with his little head sewn back on. At one point, the cart gets stuck in a pothole, and I legitimately thought the baby head was going to wobble off, but Laena just has an anxiety attack.
A curse of Rhaenyra, the monstrous!
Meanwhile, Aegon goes down to the dungeons and smashes Blood to death, nearly knocking his head off. Head over to Dragonstone where Rhaenyra is like, hold on, I'm being blamed for the dead baby? I just lost my own son. Why would I ever do that? And her whole crew is like, well, it's not totally impossible, right? Rhaenyra confronts Daemon asking if he's responsible, and Daemon's like, well, not technically. I never wanted that kid dead. I just wanted the other kid dead. Honest mistake.
You struck down a child.
It was a mistake.
They have a back and forth that's probably their greatest dialogue of the whole series thus far, with Rhaenyra saying Daemon has always been jealous that she was the heir to the throne. You've just been using me this whole time. Daemon maintaining that he served her faithfully. Daemon accuses Viserys of making Rhaenyra the queen only because he was afraid of him. Rhaenyra says, no, he just didn't trust you, and I don't trust you either. Daemon hops on his dragon and flies to Harrenhal. Sir Criston Cole, that absolute prick, shows up while they're cleaning up the murder scene that he could have stopped, and they're taking apart the crib, and they're getting rid of the bloody mattress. Like, boy, did you have a bad night at work, pal. Alicent gives him the cold shoulder while he grapples with the guilt, so in order to make his little bitch-ass self feel better, he projects all of his failure and guilt onto Sir Arryk. He blames him for his brother's betrayal and for the death of baby Jaehaerys and says the only way you can make this right is to go sneak into Dragonstone pretending to be your twin brother and kill Rhaenyra on her home court.
You will go to Dragonstone and strike down Rhaenyra in her own halls.
Now, let's press pause. At this point in the show, we wedge 4 straight filler scenes into the episode that all felt completely out of place. A useless scene of Viserys and Baela talking about their dead dads where Baela's practicing shooting a crossbow. Guarantees she kills someone with that thing later in the season. Then Hugh the Hammer and his wife are complaining about how many bills they have. Alan and Adam, the Sea Snake bastards, are talking about some shit, I don't know. And then the Sea Snake and Rhaenys are in bed commiserating about how they both got passed over for the throne. If I'm being honest, there was like 15 minutes of blatantly out of place setup scenes that felt very Game of Thrones Season 8-ish. We head back over to Dragonstone where Rhaenyra is grilling the White Worm Mysaria on her involvement with the assassination plot. During the interrogation, Mysaria is giving off big time I hit it first energy, so Rhaenyra realizes who she is. They find some common ground because the High Towers of Daemon have ruined both their lives, and Rhaenyra agrees to set White Worm free, saying that one day she'll be an asset to the Queen. Back over to King's Landing where Aegon has decided to kill every single rat catcher in the kingdom to make sure he got revenge for his dead baby. We see Cheese's dead body hanging with his pup and all the mothers and all the family members of the dead people crying at their dangling feet. Otto flips out on Aegon saying, you fucking moron, you just murdered innocent men and flaunted it for everyone to see. My whole plan to have every house take our side out of pity is ruined. All the momentum we had for Team Green with the dead kid stuff is now poof, gone. Aegon says, I want to spill blood, not ink, and fuck dignity, I want revenge, which to be honest are 2 badass lines, and then says, maybe if you were more like Sir Criston Cole, we wouldn't be in this spot. Otto has the epiphany where he realizes how dignified things were with Viserys the Peaceful, and he realizes the new regime is nothing but insolent pups. Aegon fires Otto as Hand of the King and declares Sir Criston Cole as the replacement.
Remove your badge.
Sir Otto, give it to Cole. Your Grace.
You will regret this.
Give it to him.
Back on over to Dragonstone. Remember when Rhaenyra said that Mysaria will one day help her? Well, conveniently, it happens like 4 minutes later. Mysaria spots Sir Arryk arriving, trying to carry out his plot of masquerading as Sir Erryk. Mysaria tips off Sir Erryk, who rushes to Rhaenyra's room to stop the assassination, and the battle of the twins unfolds with Erryk and Arryk fighting, and Rhaenyra just fucking standing there watching. It was like, get out of the room, bitch, run! In a rather sloppy choreographed battle scene where you really can't tell who is who, they literally tear each other to pieces, and Sir Erryk defeats his brother. Then, consumed by his guilt, Sir Erryk seppukus himself in front of Rhaenyra in what I think is supposed to be an emotional scene for the audience, but we just don't really know these guys, so it was kind of anticlimactic. We conclude with Otto venting to Alicent about how much Sir Criston Cole sucks, and she's like, well, I don't think he's that bad, right? And Otto's like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and Alicent's thinking, I don't know, he gives pretty good head. Otto grabs Alicent's hand and says, as long as we stick together, it'll all be okay. Alicent cracks and says, I've sinned, and Otto's like, I don't want to hear it. Alicent sees Aegon crying on her way to the bedroom, where, surprise, surprise, that pussy whip bitch Sir Criston Cole is there. She slaps him a couple times because she's mad at him, but what do you know? That just ends up turning her on, and these two kinky fucks start having sex again. Literally, just like a couple days ago, a baby died because you guys were sneak fucking, and you're at it again.